it's not just us. Mark Guggenheim, is one of our co-creators on Arrow, and we have incredible writing staffs on both shows, we've somehow just figured out a way to do it. Some of it is we sort of have this Moneyball aspect to the things that we do. Like, some of us are better at some things, and we've really learned to divide and conquer so that we're not all doing the same things. And especially with Flash, we have to stay ahead, because the only way we're able to pull off what we can pull off is is by really planning it and having enough time to create the visual effects and all that. So truthfully, I don't know how we do it. We don't sleep, but the real reason we're able to do it is because we love it. I mean, we're all of us so blessed that it's to get to have a career writing and producing in television is sort of a miracle, but that we get to do it with these characters, it's like virtual insanity. So I think that's why we show up every day, happy and excited and work so hard.
And following up on that, actually, because you have so many plates in the air, Emma Caulfield, who was on Buffy, she recently tweeted out to you asking for a role in any one of the shows you're working on.
Emma and I have been friends for years. We had a mutual friend, and we were like part of the same clique of people. And she and I used to watch Buffy together on the phone. We would like sit and like, I'd be my place and she'd be at her place, and we would watch Buffy. And then when the commercials came on, we would mute the TV and talk about it. And then one day she's like, "You're never gonna guess where I have an audition." And I said, "Where?" And she's like, "Buffy." And I said, "Oh my God, are you gonna do it?" And she's like, "I don't know. They want me to put this thing on my face, and how claustrophobic I get." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You have to do that." Lo and behold, she did one episode of Buffy, and then pretty quickly became Anya and completely indispensable. Which is always, which I always take for actors, and I always talk to them, and it's like you always go in, always get that part. You don't know that one episode thing turned into a series regular and a life-changing experience for her. Don't worry, Emma will be on the show.
All right. Okay. All right.
Show something.
Sorry. There you go.
Hi. So my question is, if you could have any other crossover episode with any other CW show besides Arrow, which one would it be and why?
Ooh.
iZombie.
Woo!
Supernatural!
Yeah, I was gonna say Supernatural. I'm from Texas. I love Texas boys, so yeah. There you go.
It's for the sake of having a different answer. Vampire Diaries.
What about you?
Oh, me?
What show would you like to cross over?
I want to see all these guys on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I paid money to see that.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right. Well, we've got the Power Rangers.
That's Power Rangers. Yes, Red Ranger.
Oh, snap.
Holy cow!
Wow.
Amazing.
Hi, my name's John, and we're the Armored Rangers. So my question is to the executive producer. For in Arrow, why is there different pronunciations between Roz and Ra's al Ghul? Ra's al Ghul, the actor, says Ra's al Ghul. His daughter says Roz and some other people. That's my question.
Very soft.
No, there actually is an answer. Most of us comic book fans were going to call him Ra's, and then there was some concern that if we called him Ra's instead of Roz, there would be confusion because Roz was the interpretation that they used in the Nolanverse. So what we decided was, if you're in the League of Assassins, you call him Ra's, and if you're not, you call him Roz. And then that way we sort of got to have our cake and eat it too. And if you look, you'll see that Nyssa calls him Ra's, and Roz refers to himself as Ra's, and Maseo calls him Ra's, and everyone else calls him Roz.
All right.
Yeah.
Learn something new? That was a good answer.
Now we're like, go back and watch a few more episodes and see where it changes.
Go ahead.
Hi there. I have a question for Andrew. Obviously, it's a little early on for any legacy characters with it just being the first season, but I want to know if we're ever going to see Wally West.
What are you looking at us for?
Courage. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one day you saw Wally West in the show.
Hi, my question is also for Andrew. How difficult would it be to adapt the Grim Reaper of Speedsters? Can we see the Black Flash on this show?
You can see anything on this show. I think that's, one of the most amazing aspects of doing the show this season is, there were things that, we intended to do, but we weren't ever sure if we could pull off. Episode 121 is called Grodd Lives, and Grodd is the villain in the episode. And it's not just like, a quick glimpse. Like, we have a fully CG villain in that episode. And, that we could have even done that. That we had the ability to do that, we weren't even sure of. So, as far as seeing any of the characters that are in the Flash universe, DC and Jeff Johns, and they've pretty much opened everything up to us. And so nothing is off limits. And so, if there's something that's existed in the Flash universe, no matter how crazy or how silly, there's a good possibility that it'll be on the show.
And actually following up on that, you mentioned DC Comics and Jeff Johns, and they've opened the vaults to you guys, and I know you guys are so into it. Do you guys challenge yourselves to actually find like the most obscure little thing to like play with and just kind of plant in there?
Yeah, the way anything that happens on Flash, Arrow, anything with us, it always starts in what's Barry going through this week, what's Danielle going through this week, what's Candace, what's Carlos, and what what are the characters? I realize I said their real names. Like, we don't really care what Danielle. But and the DC aspect of it for us is always the frosting. It's always the thing that comes last. And so sometimes when we once we've figured out what paces we want to put them through, or what the storyline is going to be, then it's a question of usually there's somebody in the room who says I read this great issue which has this villain in it, or or we decide we want to put our character through our paces, like what villain can help. But some of the Easter eggs are in there are just fun, obscure things that the writers like to do. And some of it is, some of the characters that we've chosen have just been because, they're the ones who served our purposes, or they didn't, and we had to reimagine them in a certain way, like the Rainbow Raider, who typically can make everyone feel any emotion they want, but we decided just anger, because that week we wanted Barry to get pissed off at Oliver for being, haughty to him.
And we had Gotham here yesterday and talked to them about the fact that, like, for some people it would look like they're Easter eggs, and other, there's just things that you draw in from the mythology that are there that go in organically. But you mentioned it. Do you have like a favorite Easter egg that you got in there that nobody caught?
It didn't feel like enough. It didn't feel like a lot of people noticed what color the symbol on Barry's chest was when we opened episode 17.
That guy did.
Except for that guy. He definitely noticed it. I thought there would be more people who sort of realized that the Flash that was fighting the Reverse Flash had the white symbol, and that maybe that wasn't the Barry that we know. But I don't know. Somebody always catches something. And if it makes, again, as with all these things, if it makes us happy, then that's what we do. So if it makes us happy, then that means that there's going to be 5 other guys who couldn't get dates in high school who's going to make them happy.
Go ahead.
Hi, Andrew. My question is, none of the fan theories about the body switch, Reverse Flash, ended up coming true to my knowledge. As a creator, is that something you can take pride in, that you can basically fool the fans up until the episode, or do you like it when we figure out some story elements?
we're proud and happy when we entertain people, you know. And I always say it's like any of these shows, whether it's Arrow or Flash, like it has to work for me and my wife. And my wife could, you know, give a hoot about comic books and all that stuff. So, you know, when she watches it, you know, she's watching it for the emotional content, and she takes it all as it comes. You know, and for myself, like, I mean, I know when I watch a comic book adaptation of something, I just don't want to see it spoon-fed. Like, oh, right, and that's what happened next, and then that's what happened next, and oh, here comes this part. And, you know, so hopefully, you know, the twists and turns that we put into the show, you know, are designed to, you know, for the people in this room, you know, and to make you guys happy, so that, you know, hopefully it's, you know, like, so when you see Eddie's name as Thawne, you know, I mean, that was sort of the biggest one that we did, but, you know, there's you know, stuff that we've done on Arrow, you know, especially with Slade Wilson, like, you know, when you met Deathstroke, it wasn't Slade Wilson, and then Slade Wilson was his friend, and, you know, Shadow becoming a part of it, and it's how we roll. Oh, go ahead.
Is there ever gonna be a kid that got powers and it can be called the Mini Flash?
Oh!
Make it happen.
Well, there is now.
Have you ever considered that? You know, we've dealt with.
We actually talked about a story that and I don't remember why we dropped it. I think we just dropped it because of the timing. But that it was a kid who was affected, and how they dealt with a kid who was sort of out of control, and that they have the right to lock them up in the pipeline, and yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
Hi, my question's for Candace. And we've established that every dude on the show is lying to you, and that you have subconscious feelings for Barry. So I'd like to know how aware you think Iris is right now of either of those things.
Of Barry being the Flash, and of her feelings for Barry? I think her feelings for Barry, I think she is somewhat aware that they exist. I don't think that she is ready to acknowledge that that's something that she has been feeling and that she could feel in the future. And I think that's because she loves Eddie. You know, Eddie's a good guy. As far as we know, you know, he hasn't done anything. I mean, he's been a really great boyfriend, and that's hard to turn away from. I think it'll take, you know, a catastrophic event, again, to kind of make her realize that she's in love with Barry. Or I think, you know, her relationship with Eddie will have to end, and she'll have to have the courage to say to Barry how she really feels. And about her knowing who the Flash is, I mean, I don't think she knows. I know that's frustrating for a lot of people. I don't think she knows, but I think she knows that Barry has been different. I think the reason she doesn't know, and the way that I justify it as an actor, is, you know, Iris takes Barry at his word. They've never lied to each other. They trust each other implicitly, and they've always told each other their deepest, darkest secrets. So for her to even remotely believe that Barry could lie about something this big, it doesn't even dawn on her to go down that path. So, you know, in that way, that's how I'm playing Iris. I just don't think she would even give him the opportunity to be a liar in her mind.
Go ahead.
What was it like working for the show?
What was it like what?
What was it like working for the show?
Working on the show. How is it?
Fantastic. It's fun. We get to go to work and play every day. You know, there's such great rapport between all of us, and we really do love each other a lot, and it's a gift, for sure.
Carlos, did you want to add anything? No, I was just moving my mind. Okay. Go ahead.
My question is, it's okay if you don't answer it, but for the new trailer for Cisco, he says this is mad freaky. Where is he? If he has these glasses, is he somewhere? Is he seeing something? Or where is he going?
That's the best question ever. Like, really though, like really insightful.
Let's just say that the events of episode 15 are not as erased as you all might think.
Some timelines may be revisited in some very creative and innovative ways, which will prove instrumental in helping us figure out the mystery.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. That was awesome.
As a psychiatric professional, Eobard, he is a true artist, but in the event that he is unjustly defeated, like that sweet trickster, will we be seeing more of the original Harrison?
First of all, that's awesome. Yeah, you'll be seeing more of the original Harrison Wells. You'll be seeing more of the Matt Lesher version of Eobard Thawne, and more of Tom as Eobard Thawne.
More everything.
More everything.
Panel, are we ever going to be able to see like a really dark, bleak, twisted version of reality in an upcoming Flash Arrow crossover with Barry flitting through time and stomping all over butterflies everywhere?
Courage. Yeah, I mean, this was just 1 year. I mean, hopefully we're gonna get many more years, and you know, when you start time traveling and fooling around with time, you're gonna do bad things and create bad things, and
we're gonna do everything in season 2, though. Everything.
I did want to ask, we usually ask, we get a lot of questions about like, what's your favorite scene? What's your favorite, line? What I want to know is, going down the line, what is your favorite performance by Candace? What is your favorite performance by Danielle? And what's your favorite performance by Carlos?
Oh my gosh. I can start. I loved Carlos in episode 15. I mean, to see him die, he's so talented, and he made me cry. He's so good. It's a treat. I'm so proud.
Candace has the scene coming up with Jesse when he's in the bed. It broke my heart. It was absolutely amazing. I can't give too much away, but it's coming up soon, and it's really heartbreaking and amazing.
I don't think I have one for Danielle, but I love all of her interactions with Ronnie and Firestorm. I just think it's so heartfelt, and you can really see the relationship between them. If you're into romance, and I am, it kind of gets me every time.
Excellent. All right, go ahead.
I was just wondering, what's your most memorable moment in season 1?
On the show or in shooting?
Either, on or off scene.
The table reads are always really fun for me because it's a chance for all of the actors to be together in a way we don't necessarily get to be on set. Rick and I don't have a lot of scenes together, but I love seeing him at the table read, and that's an awesome opportunity for us to see all the cool guest stars. Like, I took a picture when Mark Hamill came. I was like, Mark Hamill's on our show.
I really enjoyed getting to teach Grant Gustin how to play Uno. That was definitely the highlight.
Right. How to play Uno, people.
I'm like, really? Were you devoid of a childhood? Like,
Seriously.
for real?
We sat down and taught him how to play Uno, and he beat us the first round.
Oh my gosh.
And I did
beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck, or he was like trying to
It was definitely beginner's luck. Come on now.
Okay. This happened on Thursday, by the way. One of my favorite moments, I think, was being on set with Grant when the pilot was airing, and we couldn't really watch and live tweet with everyone at home, but I just remember Twitter kind of blowing up, and we'd been living with the show for a while at that point. I think we were shooting episode 9, and we were falling in love with the show and falling in love with each other, and we didn't know how it was going to be received. So when we got online and kind of saw that everyone was really liking the show, it was one of those moments where you're like, I'm a part of something really special, and it's going to kind of last forever. That's amazing. I mean, in terms of history, like, I'll always be known as a version of Iris West, and that's amazing. I don't know how I got here.
I've been given the signal, so you are our last question. So don't mess this up.
Just want to say, for Carlos Valdez, I really like the shirts that you have on the show and everything. They're really awesome. My question is, what were some of the challenges you guys had while shooting, or just during the show, and how did you guys overcome them?
Cold was a big part of that. The scene where Ronnie explodes, basically, the whole firestorm crater, apparently was...
It was like -5, and then they got these huge wind machines and made it even colder.
Well, when Ronnie exploded, when we found him in the crater, he was supposed to be naked, and they called from the set, and they're like, you know, do you want him to be naked or do you want him to be alive? And you know, Robbie, to his credit, probably would have done it, but you know, they were like, it is like sub-zero temperatures out there. Although we always talk about, like, when we get into editing, like when you watch that scene, like you were so distraught and she was so great in all those scenes, and I'm sure part of it was she was freezing. And so it feels like you guys always manage to, like, you know, work your physical discomfort into your performances in a cool way.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other challenges?
That's up there.
That's
it's
pretty
cold.
cold.
It's cold all the time.
A lot of rain, too.
A lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
It's all been a really big learning experience, you know, in terms of the special effects and how far we can push boundaries with that and how much extra stuff we need to do. Grant's really good at calling out his own freezes now. You know, it's been a learning experience to figure out how to navigate that on a regular basis.
Cool. All right, and now one last one from me. A one-word tease for your character going into the last couple episodes.
What is this? The SATs? Like, I didn't come here for
One-word
this.
tease. What should we expect from your characters by the end of the season?
Dreams.
I'm so afraid of getting fired. Pissed. Frosty.
You want to give us a one-word tease for the finale?
For my part? Yeah. Tears.
Aww.
All right, you guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. The Flash returns to the CW next Tuesday, the 14th.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again.